Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello, finally, it's been a while.
It has been a while. I was in fake Italy and you were in real Italy.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
for I
both
think
of
the
us were
last
away.
episode we did was early May because we kind of bunched them up. So it's been a few weeks since we've actually like recorded.
Yeah, I think we recorded like 3 in 1 week. It was a
Yeah,
lot,
that
but
was a lot.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah,
Now we're on what, episode 6,
6,
which is
6.
crazy.
So, tonight's episode is called All in the Family, and it's basically about deranged families and horror movies that are focused around deranged families. I'm sure some are already starting to pop in your head. And if you're ready, I mean, I can take us right into the first one. It's
Yeah.
probably an obvious one, but
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a 1974 film by Tobe Hooper that was also one of those films back then that really terrified people. And, another instance similar to Exorcist where people were leaving the theaters, people were getting sick. For those who haven't seen the original, and we'll get into some of the sequels and prequels and remakes, but the original is in my opinion the best. But that follows a group of friends who fall victim to a family of cannibals while on their way to visit an old homestead. The film was marketed as being based on true events to attract a wider audience and to act as a subtle commentary on the era's political climate. Although the character of Leatherface and minor story details were inspired by the crimes of murderer Ed Gein, the plot is largely fictional. This is one of those things, again, I think as a kid, me and my friends thought that this story was real.
Same.
Like that somebody took a chainsaw and cut up people's faces and wore them down in Texas and was terrorizing the entire state of Texas and was never caught. So yeah, that was my memory as a kid about the first movie, was just thinking it was real, and then similar to Blair Witch, finding out it wasn't real.
Yeah. I mean, it even to this day, it still holds up. It's very like gritty. It does feel like a true story the way it's told. I know this is one of the ones that had some onset things where I can't remember the specifics with the main actress there's a famous scene in the dining table where
Mhm.
they try to get the grandpa to kill her, and she was actually terrorized on set.
Yeah.
You've heard that, right?
Yeah, I think she was either hit for real with the hammer
Mhm.
or she got cut for real.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those scenes too where it was filmed in such a creative way that you can see her losing her mind. And just imagine being there with that type of family. You have someone sitting there with a woman's face on that's been cut off. You have an old guy who's looks dead. He's just sitting in a chair. You have a grandpa, or no, that is grandpa, but the dad, I guess the dad, or they call him the cook. He's crazy, but is cracking jokes all the time. And then the crazy brother who, I don't know if you ever took notice, he marked up the van so that when they got to the gas station, remember it was bloody, cut his
Yeah.
hand.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was all set up that
Mhm.
they kind of lead you to believe. So, but yeah, I mean, imagine sitting there and having to try and act out that scene, and just it's craziness. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but if not, that'll definitely be a scene you'll remember from this movie.
Yeah, this is I mean, on I would say probably every single list of top horror movies, Texas Chainsaw is gonna be on there. It's so timeless and it has been redone maybe too many times, I'd say.
Yeah.
I will say one of the 2003 remake, and I
Mhm.
think this is, an opinion that generally most people agree on. That remake is good with Jessica Biel.
Yeah. No, that it was around the time of the early 2000s when they were still making pretty good
Mhm.
movies, and some of the remakes they were doing, some of the movies we're talking about today, actually, a lot of them are from the early 2000s, so
It's
from
my
that time.
favorite time of horror, I think, is, like, the early 2000s.
Yeah, so they were doing really well back then.
Mhm.
I will say I cannot wrap my head around all, like, the prequels and sequels that just don't make sense with the timeline.
Mhm.
I have no idea how to do it. Some of these I've only seen once, like the prequel,
The beginning one?
yeah,
That was
and the one
2006, I think, yeah.
yeah, the one with Alexandra Daddario. I've
Yeah.
only seen that once, but we'll get into the newest one, I guess.
It was so bad. The
It was.
Netflix one,
Yeah.
that was horrible.
Yeah, it got terrible ratings. I think all horror fans really did not enjoy that movie at all.
Mhm. Oh, okay, the Alexandra one was Texas Chainsaw 3D, which I don't think I saw that in theaters in 3D, but the one before that was Texas Chainsaw the beginning. It's really hard to keep track because there are some that stand out and got popular and some that kind of
Yeah.
just faded, but I think
And
the Alexandra one was one of the more popular ones, but it wasn't good.
and there's some that are like direct sequels to the original
Mm.
timeline, and then there's probably some sequels or prequels to the remake. Have you ever seen the one with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, is it?
Yeah, what year was that?
I don't know, but
I've seen them all, but
I
I'm
think
like
it's the
you where
third or fourth one.
yeah, like, I saw them one time, and if they weren't good, then they just kind of faded into the background, so I
Right.
barely remember.
Yeah, but there is one. I do want to give a shout out because I know I mentioned it in another upcoming movie, but I really loved the second one as well.
Mhm.
Just the whole setting of where that all takes place. That was another one I remember watching as a kid, and it stuck with me. I thought it was also very well done. And I want to say Toby Hooper did that one too, did he not? I don't
I
know if
I wanna say he did, but I could be really wrong. Oh, and I feel like we've talked about this, that you can it's a restaurant, the house,
Oh, yeah, the
right?
original house,
Yeah.
yeah. It is a restaurant in Texas. You can go and you can eat in the crazy rooms that they
Mhm.
filmed in.
A little
So,
dark tourism there. That's on my bucket list. I would love to go there.
same, same. We have to get down there for, like, a paranormal thing and then go eat there.
Mhm. And then, I mean, we'd be remiss to say if as we're talking about remakes. However, this one I am very excited about because I'm a big fan of him. A24, which huge fan of A24 as a studio. They are developing a brand new reimagined Texas Chainsaw with Curry Barker, who's in charge, which is I we talked about it in the last was that the last episode, I think, that I'm such a huge fan of him and his shorts, and I'm so happy that Obsession is getting, such praise. I
It
think he's
is.
really, really smart. So normally I would say I don't like remakes. I'm like really weary on them, but this is one that I believe in.
Yeah, they're probably gonna end up letting him do a lot
Mhm.
of different things because he's been doing really well and he's young, so maybe he'll have a new reimagining of, how it's supposed to be or what Leatherface will look like, how he'll act, how the whole family will act, you know?
Mhm. And
So I'm interested in that as
he doesn't
well.
seem like he's like someone who shies away from the grit, which Texas Chainsaw is gritty and brutal. And
Yeah.
he seems like someone who would really lean into that and not just, touch on it. I think going back to the grit of the 70s and just the rawness. So we'll see. I'm sure we have like probably 2 years on that, at least.
Yeah, he's busy, but he puts these things together really fast.
Hmm. We'll see.
Are you ready to move into our next?
Another, I would say maybe grittier one.
Yes, very close to feeling like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mhm.
That is House of a Thousand Corpse by Rob Zombie, released in 2003. I will say I'm not a big fan of all his films, but this one I really liked and enjoyed. And I know we'll get into some of his other ones, like sequels to this, but this is about four young travelers who are kidnapped, tortured, and subjected to bizarre medical experiments by a deranged, sadistic rural family while searching for a local urban legend, Dr. Satan. And yeah, as soon as I saw this back in 2003, I was like, wow, this has Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes.
Mhm.
So I'm a huge fan. I did not know this until I was reading about it. I guess I didn't pick up on it, but it takes place in the 70s. Or maybe I'm just forgetting that it took place in the 70s. I probably
I
should have
guess
picked
that
up.
makes sense, but I don't think that I registered that either.
Yeah. So a couple shout outs I do want to give. This one, this movie features Bill Moseley. He played Chop Top in Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. So a shout out to him. And then this also has Rainn Wilson in the movie. He plays, of course, Dwight from The Office TV show, the American remade version. And not to give too much away, but spoiler alert, They end up turning him into like a mermaid fish type thing, and yeah, they call him Fish Boy.
Yeah.
So,
Have you ever seen Tusk?
yes.
Yeah, very Tusk-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, but unfortunately, he doesn't last too long. Isn't he
No.
like the first one to go?
Yeah, I mean, he was nice to have while he was there, but that was I remember watching it and I was like, "Oh my gosh, wait, he's in here," and then, yeah,
It's so hard to see him and not just be like, "Oh, that's
The
Dwight."
Office, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's Dwight. You can't kill Dwight. Why would
I
you do
know,
that?
I know. But this movie is so fun. I mean, Rob Zombie in general, and we'll get into the sequels, like, his style of filming, it makes you feel like you're there, but it's, like, kinda, like, dirty,
Yeah.
grungy, gritty, but in the
You
best way.
this and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you can, like, just smell how bad those
Yeah.
houses
There's, like,
are.
a brown the brown tint to the movie,
Yeah.
which I really like that kind of I don't even know what you call it. It's some filming style with the coloring, but it's one of my favorites.
And then just one other local, shout out I wanna give. So, Tiny, who's the giant from that movie, his name is Matthew McRory, and he is from Westchester, where I live.
No way.
So, before he got into acting, he was a bouncer at many different bars, but then, yeah, unfortunately, he passed away from his giantism. But
Mhm.
he was also the giant. It's, Big Fish, if you've ever seen that movie. It's not
Mhm.
a horror movie, but yeah, he played that big giant in that one too. So,
Hmm.
local shout out for him.
R.I.P. That's sad.
But yeah, that's House of a Thousand Corpse.
Yeah.
That takes us into the next one, if you wanna introduce that one.
Yeah, so, I mean, House of a Thousand Corpses was kind of the first one, and then this movie led to 2 other sequels, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, The Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell. So, The Devil's Rejects, I feel like I mean, House of a Thousand Corpses, I think, is the, like, cult classic, but The Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell, I think are people either love it or hate it. I remember my mom really likes Rob Zombie, so she really liked The Devil's Rejects, and then when I was finally brave enough to watch it, I really enjoyed it. Again, it has that same film style, but
Mhm.
I'll just go into a little bit about what it is. So, The Devil's Rejects was 2005, so just a couple years after House of a Thousand Corpses. It's an American black comedy horror film, which I don't know if I'd give it comedy, but anyways, produced
There
and
might be, like, one funny type character in it, but
it's like funny in, like, a brutal way. I don't know how they
yeah,
classify
like, we'll
horror
get
comedy sometimes.
destroyed
Yeah.
funny. I don't know, like, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, teach their own, but definitely a horror movie, and it's, written, produced, directed by Rob Zombie, second film of the Firefly film series, so the Firefly, family, and it served as a sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses. So it's followed by its own sequel, which 2019, so that was, God, like 14 years later, Three from Hell. The Devil's Rejects, though, it's centered around the 3 fugitive members of the antagonist family from the previous film, and the film's villainous protagonist, Sid Haig, Bill Moseley, and Zombie's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie, which I am so obsessed with them because he puts her in all of his movies, and that's what a husband should be. I'm like, I want a horror movie director husband, and I just want to be put in all the movies. And she's great. I love her. She's amazing.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan, same guy, does the same thing with
Hmm.
his wife. So,
Hmm.
yep.
As you should. I mean, any male or even female horror movie directors put your significant other in them. But yeah, The Devil's Reject, it's basically just following the fugitive family and they just go on a spree of brutalness and hostages and killing and torture. So if that's your thing, it's my thing. I like it. I think it's a fun movie. It's just fun, brutal, bloody, twisted. And I don't think Three from Hell, though, landed the same way. I mean, again, it was like 14 years later. It was kind of unnecessary. It's still like, okay, I'll watch it, but it wasn't as good as Devil's Rejects.
And wasn't that Sid Haig's last movie too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's so
have
good
to
too.
admit, I did not see that movie yet, but I do remember I thought it was his last movie because he was getting up there in age.
He's so good.
Yeah, and he always another person who did those horror cons and would just interact with anybody.
Yeah.
So,
And see, now I'm like I'm sad that I never got to go to a horror con and see him. So everyone out there, go to your local horror cons while you can. A lot of these, stars, obviously, we all won't be around forever. So it'd be really cool to kind of meet some of these iconic people.
Yep.
I mean, I think we just keep on with the grittiness of it. I feel like, to be honest, we can probably do a Rob Zombie episode purely because I do enjoy some of his other films. I think 31 is a good one, but that's for another day. But we can go into kind of the same track where gritty, brutal family
We're moving out of houses now, and we're moving into mountains.
into houses in mountains or trailers in mountains. This one, if you heard the intro, is probably another one that pops into your head. The Hills Have Eyes is one of my favorites. So both the original and the remake, I really like. I do have opinions on remakes, but this is one where I was just weirdly obsessed with as a kid. The Hills Have Eyes. I thought this was like real. Although if you go on Reddit, I mean, there are all those conspiracy theories about cannibalistic families in the, Appalachian woods. But
Yeah.
anyways, The Hills Have Eyes. So 1977 is when it came out. It's an American horror film, written, directed, edited by everyone's favorite, Wes Craven. And it followed his directorial debut, The Last House on the Left, which came out in 1972 and is an incredibly brutal movie. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd really even recommend that. It does have a long sexual assault scene
It's crazy. Yeah.
in the remake as well. I don't know why I watched the remake, but anyways, that was his directorial debut. So this was after that. The film was inspired by the legend of a Scottish cannibal named
Mhm.
Sonny Bean, which Craven viewed as illustrating how supposedly civilized people could become savage. So there's some, symbolism there. Other influences for The Hills Have Eyes was The Grapes of Wrath from the 40s. Texas Chainsaw was inspiration from 74. And so The Hills Have Eyes was shot in the Mojave Desert. And initially, the crew, I guess, was not very enthusiastic about the project, but they kind of came around because Craven was so enthusiastic about it. And then they came to believe they were making a special movie, which they did. And so this one, it kind of just follows a family who gets, stuck in the desert. And
Mhm.
there are dogs in there. I will just say there are dogs in there. If you go on the website, what is it? Does the dog die?
Yeah.
Which I always look at for horror movies. So just FYI. But yeah, the family gets stuck in the desert and they stumble upon this brutal cannibal family
Yep.
and, havoc ensues. And the 2006 remake is a direct remake. It's not like a sequel or anything. It's pretty much the exact same story. And then The Hills Have Eyes 2, 2007. So it came out just a year after the remake, which is kind of crazy. And this one follows a New Mexico Army National Guard as they fight for survival against the mutant people living in a military base in the New Mexico desert. So the second one's all right. Second remake. I think the original and then the first remake are the best ones.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Completely agree. I've seen the 2006 remake a few times.
Mhm.
I've only seen the original once, and it's been a long time.
Mhm.
So I do need to go back and rewatch that. The Hills Have Eyes 2, I was not really a fan of. I've seen that maybe once or twice, and I was like, this just is not cutting it. But yeah, I mean, they're great movies. I like the original and then the remake. Funny that you brought up Sonny Bean. I did actually read that story about
We did.
how they lived in a cave, down by the ocean front. And they used to, I guess, ambush travelers and stuff and
Yeah.
take them in the cave and eat them.
Is it a real story or is it just a legend?
It's, I guess, a legend.
I'm sure maybe there's some truth to it, but
Yeah.
The Hills Have Eyes, I feel like it was such an iconic story that's what people use as a descriptor of just like an environment. Like maybe it's just myself, but I don't think it is. But if I go into some really weird, quiet mountain town or like hiking through the first thing that I say or that I've heard other people say is, oh, this feels like Hills Have Eyes. There's
Yeah.
definitely some cannibalistic family like watching us with binoculars right now who are going to take us and chop us up and eat us for their family dinner.
Right.
But I really, really love the Hills Have Eyes movies. I will defend them forever. I think they're so good. And it did take inspiration from Texas Chainsaw, but I think it was different enough where they both stand on their own.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good one. I'm gonna rewatch that, actually. I feel like it's been a
Yeah, I wanna rewatch the original now just because it's been so long since I've seen it, and I can't think of his name, but that bald actor
God.
who is like a perfect actor to play a demented cannibal.
Yes, I don't remember his name, but I know
I
who you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, he plays the part so well, and
Mhm, mhm.
so
And speaking of Cannibals in the Woods, if you're a fan of Hills Have Eyes, you will be a fan of the Wrong Turn franchise. The Wrong Turn franchise is another one. I don't know why I was so obsessed with these cannibal family movies as a child, but The Hills Have Eyes and Wrong Turn, I don't, something about Wrong Turn I just latched onto. They are from 2003 to like recent as 2021, which I didn't really like the newer one. Did you watch it?
I did. It was well, it was kinda different,
Yeah, it
you
was
know?
different,
It
yeah.
wasn't it wasn't like the other movies where there were deformed, crazy
Yeah,
families. It was like at almost one point, you're like, "Okay, I can kinda see their point why they're mad and
right.
wanna kill you,"
Yeah.
because you yeah, don't wanna give too much away, but
Yeah, I mean, okay, so there's a bunch of them. I guess I'll just say. And the Wrong Turn franchise, created by director Rob Schmidt, it had some of the writers, but the series consists of 7 films. 5 are which in the same, like, continuity timeline, and then the 2 later films serve as reboots. So, if you had to choose, I would just watch the 5 original. The reboots are, like,
yeah,
whatever. My 2 favorite are the first and the second one.
yeah,
So the first one was 2003. Just a little background on what this is. If you don't know what it is, a group of 6 individuals, they're stalked by some cannibals, One Eye, Sawtooth, and Three Finger, which I don't know what to say about those
that's
names,
great,
but I guess,
great
like,
names.
they don't have the highest IQ, so that makes sense why their names are that. But, Chris Flynn, who's one of the characters, is forced to make a detour after there's some chemical spill on the road. He makes a wrong turn and crashes into another vehicle, and that vehicle had already fallen victim to the mountain men's road traps. And I liked it because like they did all these like elaborate traps to get the people, which I do like trap movies. And while searching for help in the cabin belonging to the 3 monstrous mountain men, they're hunted down one by one in various traps. And this has, oh God, Eliza Dushku. That's how you say her last name. I really like her from Bring It On.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the cheerleader movie.
Yeah. A little
Little different
different, yeah.
plot here, but yeah. So, it's funny that you brought up the Appalachian Trail because I grew up in the Pocono Mountains.
Mhm.
And the Appalachian Trail went, like, very close to my house, and so, as kids, we would always make up stories, especially my one friend who lived, like, up in the middle of the woods. We would make up stories that the path behind his house that we used to ride bikes and dirt bikes on was the Appalachian Trail, so we would never go out there at night because he claimed his relative had a story that they went out there and they saw a floating lantern, but this is children
I believe I
folklore.
but you believe, like, the weird stuff in the Appalachians
Oh,
to
yeah.
some
I
degree.
mean, there's been a lot that's been proven, like, a lot of, like, murders and
Yeah.
like, people go missing because they walk 5 feet off the path and they just go missing, but
Mm.
there's a good part of me too because if it's interesting, if you ever pull up, like, a map of
Yes.
state parks or
Yes.
trails like this, there's a lot of people that have gone missing on these
Well,
trails.
they the map, if you look up the map of the US, missing people, and then you overlay it onto the map of the national park, like, trail system, it's almost an
Exactly.
exact match,
Yes.
which I don't know what that says. Like, obviously, it makes sense, national parks, like, people get lost, people go missing, but the fact that it's such, like, almost an exact replica, there's all those conspiracy theories of trail systems and people just disappearing. And have you ever seen Missing 411 or Missing 411 Hunted?
No,
Okay,
I'm not.
please, you have to watch it. It's so good. If you guys are like a fan of any kind of paranormal or mystery, it's like several stories, documentary style. It's real of these people telling their stories of their friend who just went missing. Like they were with them then they were gone. And then all these FBI vehicles show up or they're just gone, they never find or they find their clothes millions, not millions, like miles and miles away, unsure of how it got there is really interesting. But it always calls to like I don't know, are Hills Have Eyes and The Wrong Turn, like, kinda real? I don't know.
Could there be families that are doing this and just not getting caught?
Possible.
Are there Bigfoot families taking people and capturing them?
I mean,
You don't know.
I'd believe it. I'm not gonna say no, there's some weird stuff out there, so but yeah, Wrong Turn could, take inspiration from reality. I will just say the second film is fun too because it's about, like, it has new cannibals and their names, Ma, Pa, brother and sister, so real creative, but it also is like the three finger and sawtooth guys, but they are hunting down group of a reality show contestants who are taking part in like the survival TV show in the woods, and it is a very fun watch. So those would be my two if you had to only watch like if you only had time for a few. I would watch the first and the second.
Yeah, I agree. I did like that the newest one was different, but then, like I said, it wasn't a real wrong turn movie.
It wasn't like it didn't feel as brutal or scary, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, shout out Wrong Turn. Love you guys.
Well, that takes you into another one for you.
Yes. And this is I mean, we are pivoting, I will say. And when I was thinking of movies for this topic, one, there are so many family movies because I think we were discussing this. Like, we can lean paranormal, we can lean, cannibals, we can lean, grief, hereditary, and stuff like that. But I wanted to bring this one up. It leans more paranormal, but this movie meant so much to me, and I think it is one of the greatest movies. This is always on my list, and I think it is high rated too. It's called The Others from 2001. Have you seen it?
But yeah,
Okay.
and you get to do your
What a
famous
twist. Yeah.
yes,
No,
yes.
this out of all the movies, like, what a twist. I cannot tell you to my core. I had to grip the couch, my world spinning. What is this? Granted, I did watch this as a kid. I still think it holds up, but I did not see it coming. So basically, The Others, Nicole Kidman, gotta love her. In 1945, so this is a movie. In 1945, immediately following the end of the Second World War, a woman, Nicole Kidman, lives with her two photosensitive children, meaning that they're sensitive to the light, on her darkened old family estate in the Channel Islands, and she becomes convinced that the home is haunted. And so, one, the setting is just really pretty. It's this magnificent giant old house, really pretty estate, but she's constantly following her kids around and making sure the curtains are closed or else their skin's gonna burn. And it's just so creepy and spooky. And as the movie goes on, you're like, oh, this house, it's haunted, and all these, it's a slow burner, I guess, like no
Yeah.
really jump scares from what I can remember, but it does slow burn and like atmosphere really, really well.
So also the way it was shot, like the outside where it's just like all foggy and
Hmm.
you can barely see anything, that all adds to the creep factor of where this house is located and what has happened. I wonder how they would do that, to film something like that. Like I guess blast a bunch of fog.
I guess.
Yeah, but that also added to it, like, it was like when you go outside and it's been raining for, like, 4 days straight and it's just foggy and miserable.
Hmm.
The whole movie, if I'm remembering correctly, seems to have that kind of vibe, especially outside. But, yeah, I mean, they're also allergic to the sun, so there are some sunny days, but, yeah, for the most part, it goes for that creepy, musky,
Yeah.
just terrible weather type, setting and atmosphere.
It's a good movie if you haven't seen it. I'd recommend watching it by yourself in the dark because they do it really well where if you've ever been to, I don't know, a big estate or a big house just by yourself, like just in normal life, and you get that kind of someone's watching me or my hair on my arm standing up, goosebumps. It does that feeling really, really well without doing too much.
Yeah.
And again, what a twist. And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, because I don't think that's one we can give away.
No, no, no. No,
Like, you
absolutely
need to
not.
experience it.
Please watch it. It's a 10 out of 10, no notes. It's one of my favorite movies. I think it's so well done, and I hope they never try to redo it.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Like, the best part about the movie is the twist,
Mhm.
and then going back and watching it a second time, knowing what the twist is.
It just doesn't
So,
it's still a good movie, but it doesn't land the same way for when you first watch it.
yeah, a remake would just be like, well, we know what's going to happen. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah,
speaking of movies that have been unsuccessfully remade, if
yeah.
you wanna go into the next one that we both have some opinions on.
So, not a lot to say, I guess, from like my perspective, but I added this. It's called Speak No Evil. And I'm specifically talking about the Dutch version, not the awful, awful remake. And the Dutch version, I believe, came out in 2022. So it is somewhat of a newer movie. It's about a Danish couple that's visiting Dutch friends that they met on vacation. Major spoiler alert in three, two, one, here we go. Bound by politeness, the Danes endure increasingly bizarre and abusive behavior, ultimately realizing their hosts are serial killers who abduct children, mutilate their tongues.
Wait, I feel like we shouldn't give away the plot on this one. I'm just, like, realizing it right now.
Might be a little too late, but
Yeah, okay, okay.
okay, so they do bad things. But this is one of those movies that I definitely want to call out. How are you not like aware of your surroundings and what you're doing? And I know this it's tough to discuss this movie without giving a lot away because it's one where I would first of all, I'm not going to go stay at someone's house that I just kind of met. And if I see them acting weird and I don't know them, I'm leaving. And it's one of those movies where you watch it and you think like, okay, well, this is going to happen this time around, even though you know it's not. Like, I know it's so hard to talk about this movie and not give a lot away about the plot and
I
what's going on.
I think what I'm gonna maybe I'll put a spoiler alert on this or whatever, and I'll get to right now. I'm just gonna say now, we're not gonna talk about what actually happens. But basically, what I think this movie did so well is kind of similar to, I guess, the others, but in a different way where you don't know where it's going. Like you think it's going one way, but then you're not sure where it's going. So it really makes the viewer not trust what they're thinking. They're like, okay, well, maybe I'm being too harsh. Essentially, the whole movie is it's a trust your gut kind of movie, right? So we've all been in situations. We were talking about this before for another movie where we're like, trust your gut. Creep, when we were talking about
Yeah.
Creep.
Yep.
Well, it's similar to Creep where you're watching it and you're like, okay, like these people just could be kind of bizarre or they could not. But I don't want to be rude, but do I trust my gut? And that's the whole time you're watching it. You're like, okay, I'm maybe I'm just being ridiculous, you know, I'm judging too hard, but then you're like, "My gut feels weird and I feel uncomfortable." So it's like, what
Yeah.
do you do in that situation?
And I, you know, I try again to think like, okay, what would I do in certain situations? So one of the situations is the one character is vegan, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna eat some meat." And she's like, you can't tell if they're joking or if they're serious.
Right.
And there's just a lot of that. I feel like, but it increasingly gets worse.
Mhm.
With okay, you might be joking, but now you're crossing the line, and I'm not gonna stay here any longer and
Mhm.
see what type of person you really are. So
Yeah. And I remember watching this movie randomly. I just put it on. Oh,
yeah,
I'll watch it. I think it came out on Shudder or something. And I didn't watch a trailer. I just put it on. I think this is the best way to watch this movie. I'm going to put this in the editing and just be like, watch this movie and then come back because the like era of not knowing what's going on makes it so much better. And it makes the ending so much more devastating is all I could say. I mean, I felt like I needed a shower after the movie ended.
yeah. Hoping I didn't give too much away, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, please make sure you watch the Dutch version.
Mhm.
Not the American remake. There's no reason to watch the American remake. It's the exact same thing, but just in English.
Yeah, and it only came out it came out in 2022, the original. So it was a really
They didn't
weird
even let
move.
it breathe.
Yeah, not at all. And there's no way, and I'm not gonna ever watch the American version, but I know for a fact there's no way that the American version could top the original.
Right. I mean, didn't it have I'm trying to think of the actor.
Yeah, from Glass or Split.
Split,
Yeah,
and I can't think of
I forget his
his
name.
he was
But
in a
he's
few M.
really
Night
good, and I was like, "Why?" I don't know why you would attach yourself to something like that, but
no, way too soon.
James McAvoy or something?
McAvoy, yeah.
McAvoy, yeah. Anyways, yeah, go watch it. It's really, really good.
All right, you're up.
Yeah, we can go into
Yes, me
another
too.
same premise. Okay, this is a foreign movie that got remade. It's called Goodnight Mommy, and it's a 2014 Austrian psychological horror film. So this one, it takes place in another like picturesque, gigantic house, middle of nowhere, middle of the woods. And the mom, so she undergoes cosmetic facial surgery, and then she returns back to her home, isolated lakeside house with her 10-year-old twin sons, Elias and Lucas. So she got cosmetic surgery on her face, and she has all these bandages covering her entire face. So it's just her eyes and her mouth that are showing, which is already very, creepy. And so the twin boys, they're unnerved by their mother's appearance, makes sense, and are further taken aback when she begins to exhibit strange behavior. So the whole movie, it's following the complex relationship between the twin boys and their mom. It's isolated, it's a weird setting. The boys begin to question the mom's identity. They don't believe she was the same person. They believe she's an imposter. That's kind of the premise of the whole movie. So it's another slow burn where more and more you're like, is she the real mom? Is she not the real mom? And it's really just eerie, and it's another one where it makes you question yourself on what you're thinking.
Yeah, and you start to, I guess, wonder, okay, is she the villain?
Mm,
Or are the kids really mean to her
yeah.
because of her surgery? What's going on here? And then, yeah, there's another twist in that movie too.
What a twist. And so I was really upset when I saw this, similar to Speak No Evil, but the American remake released by Amazon Prime Video 2022, granted it's still not enough time, it's 8 years later, but the movie is so good. It stands on its own. Why do you need a remake, especially for something that's so one off? It's not like a franchise getting rebooted or anything. It's really weird. It just feels like a cash grab, and it feels
It
disrespectful
was.
to the original. Same with Speak
That's
No Evil.
absolutely what it was. It was a
Yeah,
cash grab. I did not watch the remake for
me
that
neither.
either.
Me neither. And I will never. So watch the original. It's really, really good. And this was my first, I think, Austrian horror film, which I know we're gonna get eventually into, international horror, because I think that's probably the best of horror. But this was a good Speak No Evil, Goodnight Mommy, great additions to the international horror.
Agreed. All right. Well, that brings us to a fun movie, and I'll get into why I like this movie so much. The movie's called Get Out, and it is from 2017. It's a Jordan Peele movie, and this is my favorite movie that he has done.
Mhm.
There's some of the other ones that I'm okay with. Some of the other ones I'm I'm not a fan of,
Ooh,
but this
really?
one, yeah. What was the one with the aliens
Nope.
in the sky? Yeah, that one.
It was really I liked it. Well, I really like
I
Kiki
couldn't get
Palmer,
on board with that.
and I thought it was interesting. There was really good casting for that, and I also feel like we could have mentioned Us, because Us is like a family
Yeah.
kinda thing too.
See, I didn't mind that movie. I thought that was really cool,
I liked
especially
it.
because that has, like, a twist in it as well,
Mhm.
and I really like that movie, but, yeah, Get Out was my favorite movie. Was this his first,
Yeah.
kinda big intro
Mhm.
to horror?
Yeah.
And so, I'll say this, I've said it before, I don't like when there's too much comedy mixed in with horror. This has funny comedy in it, at least one character, I won't give anything away, but it's still a horror movie. It's still a thriller that builds up a lot of intense moments. You're rooting for the main character. You're starting to figure everything out as he's figuring things out, and you're really rooting for him. So it's one of those types of movies where it just continues to build and build, and yeah, you're rooting for the character. So this movie's about a black photographer who visits the countryside estate of his white girlfriend, Rose. While the family seems welcoming, Chris uncovers a horrifying conspiracy.
Spoiler alert. I think everyone has seen Get Out at this point, but if you haven't,
Yeah, I mean, we can't talk a
no,
lot
you could
about the
go
movie
don't go into it. Yeah,
without
go ahead, go ahead.
telling.
Yeah.
So how do you even say that?
Armitages?
Armitages? I don't know. It's one of
Armitage?
those families are part of a secret society that abducts Black people to transplant the consciousness of wealthy older white people into their bodies. You should process that for a second, because that's something that's never been done before. And that leaves the original host trapped in a paralyzed hypnotic state known as the sunken place. So when I first saw this in the movie theater, again, you watched the trailer and you thought this was just a horror movie where this guy goes to stay with his girlfriend's family and everybody's just acting bizarre. The groundskeeper guy that they have, he was in the trailer where the main character goes out to have a smoke at night, and the groundskeeper, this is like the middle of the night, and the groundskeeper's just out there and then just running around the property. Yeah. Like that. And it's just like, is this place cursed? Are people possessed? But then, yeah, I mean, you start to slowly, like I said, figure out what's happening to these people, and you are rooting for him to get out. And yeah, I mean, I one guy I want to call out, I swear he plays a villain in every movie. He's the dad, Bradley Whitford.
Mhm.
He was in Billy Madison. He played Eric the Jerk from Billy Madison. Do you remember he was in Cabin in the Woods? He played one
Mhm.
of the, I don't know, doctors
Like
or
scientist guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he plays like just a jerk in every movie, a villain in every movie, but he's really good at it. So yeah, I don't know. You have any thoughts on Get Out? That caught me off guard too a little bit.
I think it caught everyone off guard because, I mean, this really put Jordan Peele on the map,
Yeah.
and he's just smart. All of his movies are very, very smart.
Yeah.
He just so everything he does is so well thought out, and this is such an interesting idea, and all his movies do have a lot of, political commentary. Obviously, the white people taking over the Black people's bodies, and there's a ton, but it's done so well where I think it got a lot of attention and praise, and the comedy in there, especially, like, the ending, which I'm not gonna say,
Yeah.
with the friend was just I mean, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. It's a great cast. What's her name? Plays the girlfriend from Girls. I forget her name, but
Yeah. She
she's
did really well.
yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned his friend, because like the comedy comes into the movie where his friend knew this was a bad idea from the beginning and was like trying to talk him out of all this and like figuring it out all way soon, and ends up being a really good friend because, well,
Yeah.
won't tell the ending, but
It's a funny ending. I remember the whole theater was like it's one of those movies where the whole theater felt like they were a part of it, so by the end, everyone was like, "Oh my god, no," and then, like, laughing together, but not in an obnoxious way, but we were in on the joke kind of way. And this is one of the movies where I feel like maybe I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the villain drinking milk, that's a thing where villains drink milk, and that's some kind of symbolic thing, but she does, like, I think
so it's her. I was trying to remember who was drinking
yeah,
milk. 'Cause I
yeah,
remember her brother, whoever plays her brother, was the whole family was psychotic. But
mhm.
yeah, okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like if you look it up, there's a good amount of movies where, like, the evil villain, and I don't know if it's a tell where it's like, "Oh, they're drinking milk,"
Yeah,
like, that
that's
means something.
interesting.
Yeah, but it's such a good movie. I'm, like, a huge fan of, Jordan Peele, Monkey Paw, everything they do, and, what a banger to be your first big movie into the horror space.
And again, is he a comedian? I know
Mhm.
he's like, yeah, so another comedian who's just doing really well with horror movies.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, horror and comedy they're so, so close together. It's all about the timing and about leading the audience. Who's another big one? Who did Tusk? He's a comedian too. Oh my god, his name is it's like on the tip of my tongue. Kevin Smith.
yeah.
But I mean, because they're so closely related, comedians do horror very well, and, I mean, I'm always a fan of Key and Peele too. Great show, great show. But I think that kind of wraps up this specific category. I think we can name a ton of movies.
Yeah.
I think the biggest ones, Wrong Turn, Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw, but some of the not smaller ones, but maybe more ones that you don't think of right off the bat for something like brutal family dynamics. If you haven't seen them, definitely watch them. There are, when I was thinking of what movies I wanted to talk about, it was really hard to pick, but You're Next and Ready or Not, I think are some that people would think about. Ready or Not more, specifically, because the second one just came out, which I haven't seen it yet, but the first one
I've
was
not either.
really, really good. You're Next, I don't feel like a lot of people have seen, but there's a twist in it, but it's basically there's like a family dinner happening, and then these people attack the family dinner, and then that's all I'll say about it, but that's a fun one to watch. House of Wax, while not necessarily a family, it kind of is a family, but it's a town.
Yeah,
And I think they're remaking that one too, but House
they
of
are.
Wax, I think it was early 2000s too, like Paris Hilton and Chad
Yeah,
Michael
she better.
Murray, so
I hope
iconic.
somehow she survives and is in the new one.
She's I mean, that movie, even to this day, the cast, I don't know how they did that, but and it's a good movie too.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like, if it's just raining out, you're like, I want to watch something that I am comfortable watching, and it's one of those. You
It's
throw it
fun.
on.
It's fun. And then, The Shining, which I didn't put in here because I know we're doing like a separate Stephen King kind of vibe, but like, brutal family, you can kind of say that leads into that too. But I mean, The Shining is just, we could have one episode just to talk about that on its own.
Yeah. And then one I did want to throw in here just because it's such a classic. I don't really consider it a horror movie. I did when I was a kid, but The Burbs.
I've never heard of it.
My God.
Okay, give me the
You
synopsis.
haven't heard Renee and I doing quotes from this movie?
I mean, maybe, but I didn't know what it was from.
All right, let me pull it up.
The
It's
bird.
So they just did a remake TV show, but I'm talking specifically about the film from 1989. It stars Tom Hanks. It has Corey Feldman in it because, it's an 80s movie. Carrie Fisher's in it, plays Tom Hanks' wife.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, these new neighbors move in next to him called the Klopeks, and they're just really weird. They have this furnace that like makes all this loud noise. This is all led by Tom Hanks and the two other funny guys on his street. All think that these people are murderers and that they murdered the previous homeowners and just took over the house. So it is hilarious. It's a comedy, but it's like comedy with some horror in it. But
Okay.
like as a kid, you could easily consider it a horror movie.
Okay, I remember seeing the advertisements for the newer. It's with Keke
It's
Palmer,
a
right?
TV show. They just did it with a TV show. I watched maybe 2 episodes, but the storyline's different,
Okay.
kind of different,
Okay.
pretty different. But you have to watch it because you'll laugh. And then that's why Renee and I, whenever, we're doing like the paranormal stuff, we just quote this movie nonstop
Oh, that's fun.
because it's hilarious. But I wanted to throw it on there because of the Klopeks. It's 2 brothers and then I guess one of their nephews or son, but they're all like in on some stuff. So I recommend watching it because you will laugh. It's hilarious.
I'll add it to my list. And slowly, as we dive deeper and deeper, I think you do have a spot in your heart for some comedy horror. It's just very specific.
Yeah, it's hard to explain it, I guess. Like there's some of those, that one gore movie, I'm trying to remember what it is, where this monkey from another country bites a guy and brings home this virus.
I need to start compiling. When I have some free time, I'm going to start compiling some good like comedy, even if it's dark comedy horrors.
Yeah, but can't think of the name. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Once you figure it out, let me know.
I will.
But
It's way too much comedy.
okay.
It's called Dead Alive. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's from 1992. It's a horror comedy, and it's just,
Okay.
you should watch it, and then you'll be like, okay, now I get what he means, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But stuff like that where they try to make it too funny
Like campy.
when I'm wanting to watch a horror movie. You know?
Yeah. I get
So,
you. I get you.
that's all.
Well, I'll start compiling a list of potential comedy horrors, and we'll do like a special episode after you watch like my long list of movies, and then we can go
Yeah,
through them.
but you never know. I might be in a Lake Mungo mood for that.
And that's fine.
episode.
And that's fine. Everyone has their own opinions. And my opinion on Lake Mungo is not really an opinion. I think it's a fact, but we'll leave it at that. That is family horror, all in the family. Happy late Mother's Day, happy early Father's Day. Enjoy your families and don't let any cannibalistic Appalachian families or families on the side of a road in Texas get you.
Yes, use your instinct. Don't
Yeah.
fall for their traps.
Trust your gut. Yeah. Well, that's all I have today.
All right, everyone. Have a good night, good
Bye
day,
now.
wherever you're at. Bye.
See ya.